The nation's workforce is more diverse than ever before, providing significant strengths to businesses, but also presenting some unique challenges. And that requires companies to have a deeper understanding of diverse workplace needs. This week at North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park, there's a special opportunity to learn how to better manage and work effectively with diverse populations. In Newsmakers, Rusty Ray sits down with author Jodi Pfarr, who has presented across the globe and written a book on the subject.
So you wrote your book, and I'm going to consult this here, The Urgency of Awareness, Unlocking the Power Within Individual, Organizational, and Community Efforts. Why did you write that book a few years ago?
Because we show up, I think sometimes we're not aware of how much the identities we hold affect how we perceive things. And you and I, we grew up in this societal system that normalizes one identity over another. So if you have an identity that's been normalized, the societal system is geared towards you. And that gives you a different experience than if you hold an identity that's not normalized. The one I always take that's easy and digestible is right-handed and left-handed. If you grow up right-handed, that's been normalized and our societal system is geared towards it. I'm right-handed, and so everything works for me. So when I come to work, I don't even think about it. I sit down at the cubicle, the mouse works, the phone is placed in a place where it's, I can utilize it. I'm dating myself, but a paper cutter works, a pencil sharpener works, all those things work for me. And I never realized that left-handed people have to adjust all the time. Even I used to work construction back in the day and power tools. I didn't realize they're geared for right-handed and manufacturing equipment. That actually people in America die in America because they're left-handed, because the guards for power tools are put on as if you'd use it right-handed. And so once we become aware of those experiences, then we can have some really deeper conversations about, how do we make our organization, how do we make our communities more accessible to all? But if we don't gain that awareness individually, it becomes much more difficult to really have real conversations about how to make changes that could benefit our organization or our community.
Some major events worldwide, certainly here in the Twin Cities, have really pushed this conversation to the fore for businesses of all sizes and all scopes, right? Yeah.
The world is just getting more and more diverse, more and more experiences. We have 5 generations in the workplace right now, and I know that's a big one because I'm technically Gen X, but I relate a little bit more to baby boomers sometimes. And we show up to work. If you're a millennial, you show up to work differently than if you're a Gen Xer or a baby boomer. And so 5 different generations with very different experiences. When they come to the work setting, what they think is feeling acceptable is different. And if we don't have awareness of our own experience and how being a Gen X affects how I show up, and then we can't create a rich culture, a positive culture for everybody in our work setting. So the world's getting more and more diverse. We have more ages, more we're just being exposed to more diversity. So gaining that awareness and having these conversations are just crucial if we want to be an effective community or organization.
And it kind of goes beyond just the let's give everybody a Briggs Myers and let's all have some kickball games and bring everybody together. Each company is different in order to get to a place where you can start to have these meaningful conversations. There's a lot of work that has to happen before that even starts.
Absolutely. And a lot of work on ourselves. And that's why I'm so excited about this event that's coming up, is because this allows people just to come together, start to gain that awareness, and also just be in dialogue with each other about as they talk, and that leads to rich conversations at the table, because all of a sudden, you're a male and I'm a female, and we start talking about our experiences, and they might be slightly different just based on that identity. Not better, not worse, but different. And if we can start to understand each other, we walk away with new insights.
And so this event you mentioned put on by the Maple Grove Rotary, and it's open to everybody, though. That's what you want to make sure everybody
knows. Come on in. There is no age limit. There's no, it's not for any one single profession. I work professionally with everybody. I work with police departments, and then I'll turn around and work with General Mills, and I'll turn around and work, I just came from the reservation. And so everybody, we're all in this societal system together. The more we all gain awareness, the more we can have these rich dialogues with each other.
Okay, so that event is called Urgency of Awareness, Creating an Inclusive Environment for Diverse Populations. It's a full day, Wednesday, October 11th, 9 until 4. at the North Hennepin Community College campus, the Grand Ballroom there in Brooklyn Park. You've been having a lot of these events and all over the place.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, lots of them. And I just want to let people know that it's going to be very engaging. If you haven't picked up yet, I'm not going to stand behind a podium and lecture. We have a lot of fun. I use a lot of humor and also a lot of time to be able to process with people at the event.
Real quick, what's something that you get a lot of the same question or comment after one of these day-long events? Does someone come up to you and is there a common question or even a reflection that somebody's sharing with you?
I think the common reflection is like, wow, I didn't realize how many identities, because we go through like 36, so I didn't realize how much my identities affect my experience, and that affects my perception, and how that affects how I set up, like teachers say, I realize how that affects how I set up my classroom. Judges have said, oh my gosh, I realize how that affects how I hear a case. And so I think people walking away with a deeper understanding of how their experience is actually showing up on how we're hearing people and judging people is the biggest thing that I hear people do. The other second one I hear people say is, I've never been to an equity training where we've had so much fun and learned so much. And so I don't think, we can hold hard conversations, but we can also have fun and be honest while we do that we're all in this together. I still operate out of my identities, so I am sometimes unconsciously eliminating, operating out of my bias or eliminating folks, and I don't mean to. And so if we can be honest about that, then we have these rich dialogues. And so that's the other comment that I hear often is like, I've never had so much fun, but yet came away learning.
Yeah, leadership and communication and strategy, all of that plays into what you're talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Jodi Pfarr, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We'll have more information about Wednesday's seminar and Jodi's book at ccxmedia.org.
Find more local news stories at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.